Hi, in this video I'm going to give you an overview of a VFX project and asset management application I have wrote using Witty C++ web framework. The project is still under development, so don't expect much in this video. Now let me first sign in. Okay. When you first sign in, you'll land on My Dashboard view. This view has two tabs: Tasks, which lists tasks currently assigned to a current user signed in, as well as the Notification tab, which lists notification related to tasks assigned to a current user signed in or parent items of any of these tasks. Now if you are an admin, you'll be able to view all application types. So click on Project menu item to switch to Project page. Project page is divided into two main parts. The main project view, which lists both projects and subtypes of these projects, and the side panel. The side panel serves as a properties panel that displays properties of the selected items, as well as things that you can do with these items, such as creating new items or editing them. Now let's see how the application works. Let's first create a new project. Click on Create New Project. You'll be faced with this dialog. Now write the information you desire. You can select start and end date, write the duration and frames for this project, the frames per second or anything else. You can also change the status and assign a manager to this project. Let's leave it as it is and write a simple description and select whether this project should be active or not. Inactive types wouldn't be fetched from database and shouldn't be displayed in the interface. Okay, as you can see, I've created a new project in here. By default, the project type will have all of these columns assigned to it, and you can of course double click any of these columns to edit the value. Okay, by default there are some extra columns displayed in here, which are starting from this view rank column. Default project column cell ends at this column, the priority column. You can disable the visibility of default column from settings. Now when you go back to the project view, you shouldn't see those extra columns. Okay, let's create some more test projects. Okay, this is enough. The UI itself features item size, the control for item width, or for the row height, I'm sorry. You can also filter the view using any of these columns. All lists in the application inherits from the same parent item, and it features the same features across all the widgets in the application. For example, you can select all. There are some selection features which are standard for list views. Also, there are shortcuts for these selected items. You can also export any data inside any of these views using this feature, export CSV. Oh, I've chosen import, not export. Okay, This is the exported data. Okay, you can select any of these projects and assign or add a new sequence inside any of these projects. The project item has four different subtypes, which are sequences, assets, tasks, and no, they are only three, I'm sorry. You can select a project and create a new sequence from the side panel. Again, you can change the options you desire in here. Just click OK. As you can see, I've created a new sequence in here. You can adjust the row height from this slider. Let's create another one. Again, you can change any of these columns by double clicking it. You can display and hide this properties panel using Shift P or from the main application menu. There are also two other views, which are the main menu, which this one on the left, and another hidden one by default, which is the log window, which shows various application logs. It's hidden by default. Now let me demonstrate a feature here. First, let me demonstrate the editing of multiple projects. You can edit multiple items. Just select multiple items of the same type. Click on the edit. You'll be presented by this edit dialog for faster editing of similar items. For example, I'm going to change this to 30 frames per second and the priority, let's say, to 10. Okay. All of these items properties should have been changed together. Yes. FPS now is 30 and the priority is 10. You can change the thumbnails of any item sorry, by importing a thumbnail with the same name as the item itself. Or you can import multiple items with the same name of the items, the same name of the items in the list, and the application will match the thumbnails by the item name. Let me demonstrate this. Click on that button. I have selected 3 images using the same name of the items. Upload, and there you go. Also for the sequences, you can do this. Now these are the properties panel, and these that shows properties of selected items, and these main panels or main tabs are pretty much similar to these ones over here, but these are just here for to be able to select a subtype and assign different properties to it. I'm actually considering removing these tabs and using just a tree list view in here and get rid of these extra tabs, maybe in the next version or so. What else to say? Okay, let me demonstrate the CSV import. When you select a project or an item, its sub items gets displayed in here and also in the main tab. So now just select one of these items. Let's create a shot inside a sequence. You can create shots inside sequences. Let's demonstrate the import feature. Let me import an CSV file. Open, upload. Now as you can see, I've imported 2 shots inside this sequence, and when you select another sequence that doesn't have any shots, you get an empty list. And if you select both sequences, the sequences for both items, the shots inside those 2 sequences gets displayed in the right properties panel with the sequence name that corresponds to each sequence. For example, if you create a shot inside sequence 2, let's call this shot 1, and select both sequences, you get shot 1 and shot 1, but this shot is inside sequence 1 and this one is inside sequence 2. Okay, and of course you can select multiple items and edit those as well. Okay, so the project has 3 subtypes: sequences, assets, and tasks. And those data, tags, and nodes are global types which are visible on all types of the application. Now let me demonstrate how this works. First, the data tab or the data subtype serves as a metadata that you can assign to any item in the application, just like that. This is just its purpose in here. You can select an item and assign the new data to it. It works as a key value pair. So let's, for example, call this data client opinion, for example, and the value of bad. So if someone else wants to add data to this project or metadata to this project that are not in these default columns, you can add these extra data in here. The tags serves as a filtering feature of the application. You can tags exists in 2 flavors or 2 versions. There are global tags and project specific tags. Global tags can be created from settings, projects, global. You can create global tags from here. Let's call this tag lens and assign something in here. Let's create another one with speed, assign 2.0 and content. Now, when you go to tags, you should find those 2 global tags I've created. You can use these tags for filtering. Let me give you an example. Now, for example, I'm going to assign the lens tag, which has the content of 50, to this project by clicking this button, add selected tags to selected items. Now, any items that has tags assigned to it should be displayed in here. These tags should be displayed in here. And for example, I'm going to assign speed to this one. Now, if you want to filter items that only has the lens tag, you just click this button and choose exact selection. What I was selecting, yeah, I was selecting lens. If you want to clear the filter, just click this button and it will clear the filter. Let me do this one more time to check something. Yes, it works. And of course, you can click any of the selection. So if you select multiple items in here, let me do this quickly, clear any of the selection, you should get both projects that has 2 tags assigned to them. This one has the lens tag and this one has the speed tag. Now the second version of the tags is a project specific tag. What is a project specific tag? Project specific tag only gets visible when you select that project or any of the subtypes of this project. Now let me demonstrate this. Let's select this project and create a tag. Let's call this project 01 tag and give it a test content. Okay, now when you select that project, its associated tags will be displayed along with the global tags in this available tags list. But when you select other projects or other items, the project 1 tag won't be visible for other select items in this list. And this project tag won't be visible also in the global tags. It will only be visible when you select the associated project. Now you can use this tag to filter this project only, and also this tag will be visible on any items inside that item. This way you can create tags assigned to specific items without creating a whole lot of tags in the global section of the settings. Now what else? The statistics tab shows some statistics of the selected item. For projects, for example, there are progress, total hours and done hours, and these total hours and done hours gets calculated automatically from subsequent types. Let me show you how. For example, if we create a task inside that project, let's give it coding admin. Now for this task I'm going to add some activities. And add like 10 hours for this activity, and another one. I'm going to add another 10 hours. Progress. Okay, so we have now 2 activities inside this task inside that project, which is project 1. Of course, you can see what project this task in was, which is project 1. Now, if you go to statistics tab, you'll see that total hours is 10 and done hours is also 10. And there are 3 shots in this project, done shots 3. The done part or the done column gets calculated from the status. Let me go quickly to shots. By default, the status, when you create a new shot, the status will be approved. So let's change this to something like in progress. Go back here, go to statistics. Our total shots. Okay, now we have total shots of 3 and done shots of 1. And we have total activities of 2 and done activities of 1. Now for the third item, notes just does what it says. It's just a note that you can assign to any item in the application for other users to view. If you want to leave a note on that project, for example, let's create a note. Let's call this should be finished on Saturday, for example. What was that? No. Okay. So when you select that item, you should have this note added to it. What else? Let's talk about these items. For example, if you want to create an asset, for example, there are types in here. These types, or the asset type and the status of this type, can be created from settings, project, asset type. You can create new type in here. Let's call this sample asset type. Now when you try to create a new asset, you should have sample asset type in here. Okay, again, the status type can be created from here. Work status type. Okay. Now you should note that there are only 4 types, or 4 parent types, that newly created work status type should inherit from one of these. Otherwise the application won't or will not be able to distinguish between finished tasks and unfinished ones. So if, for example, you want to create a new work status and call it waiting for approval, you can create this and just call it in progress, for example, or maybe blocked. Okay, funny things happen. Yeah, had some illegal characters. These stuff happens. It's still in development, so we shouldn't worry much about these. So here is our new work status type. Now let's try to create a new type and see status waiting for approval. Okay, what else? Let's see what else. Task type. When you create a new task, there are some types in here which we can add new ones to this list. Where is the type? Yes, the task types in here. We can add new task types from the settings. Task type, create a new task type, new task type. Let's not put any illegal characters in here. Add type, new task type. Okay. By default, newly created task gets the thumbnail from the parent item. So for example, if you want to create a task inside that sequence, we can do this, and it gets its thumbnail from the project, from the main project. If you want to change the thumbnail for this task, you can edit this task and use the thumbnail of the sequence instead. As you can see, you can use the thumbnail from any of the parent items. In our case, we won't use the thumbnail from the sequence. What else you can do? Okay, let's talk about task templates and activity templates. Now when you create a project and want to create some tasks for that project, for example, if there are repetitive tasks that you know that you're going to create many times, and these are like 10 different tasks, imagine creating those 10 tasks 10 times, which will be 100 100 tasks created manually. I've created something called a template, which we can use to create both tasks and activities. And instead of just creating a new activity or just creating a new task, you can create a template and call it whatever you want, and just create new tasks based on this template from here. Now there are no templates in the application. Let's go create some templates. Task template. Okay, first you need to create a template from in this list. Call this modeling. Select that template and start create sub items of this template. First you need to assign a task type to that item. Let's call this modeling. And give it a default status of in progress. Modeling web basic body. Okay, let's add another one and call this, let's call it anything, just let's call it skinning, for example. Skinning the body. And finally, let's create another one, call this character, the final character. Okay. Now we can use this template for creating a new task. For example, if you create the create from template button, now you should be able to select this template. When you select it and create OK and click OK, you should have the 3 tasks that we created earlier. And of course you can use this template for creating tasks on any different types. For example, you can use it to create, let's first select a sequence. You can use it to create tasks inside the sequence. Okay. Another handy feature, which is a similar one, is activity templates. You can create a new activity template. Let's first select a task. Let's select. There are some issues still with the application. Let's create some activity templates. By the way, in the settings panel you shouldn't need the properties panel, so just hide this. First let's create a template and call this what should we call this? Let's call this animation or tracking. And create, select it, create some items. Let's add to the automatic feature tracking. Now before creating this, you should note that these types inside the activity template in here, these types, the activity template or the activity types gets its types from here, task activity type. So if you need to create a new type, just create it here first before creating the activity template items. Now we're going back to create some items. I'm going to select to the automatic feature tracking, okay, and assign 3 hours to this. I have to start with in progress status. 2D manual feature tracking. I'm going to assign 4 hours to this, and pending review. And the third and the final one, which is camera solve, I'm going to assign 4 hours or maybe 7 hours to this one. Okay, now when you select, let's bring back the properties panel. Now when you select one of these items, let's select tasks for this item, select this one, for example, activities. Now you should be able to create some activities based on a template. Okay, if you click OK, these activities gets created for you, and again you can use this as many times as you want. Okay, what else? Okay, let's move to the files manager. On any of these items you can create repositories for saving and for uploading and downloading files related to this specific item. Let's see how this works. First you need to click on this Vault thing. This opens a file manager. Now remember, this is still under development, so a lot of features is missing. First, create a new repository. It's called this repo 01. Select that repository and check in some files in this. Let's check in this sound file. Click the repository one more time. No, before clicking this, you should note that the application automatically created a version of the uploaded file, which is this one. Now click on the repository, the main repository one more time, upload another. Let's upload an image, and this automatically creates another version. Let's upload something else. Let's upload this video. Okay, now you should have this repository with 3 folders inside. One that has a sound file, and another one that has an image file, and the final one that has a video file. You can reload or refresh this list, and you can view the selected item by either clicking this button you can hit the escape button on the keyboard to escape this dialog. You can also view the item by double clicking on it. This is an image, and this is the video file. And that's it, mainly for the files manager. Of course you can filter this view like the other views using this filter, and you can export only from this view to a CSV file. And of course you have this slider for controlling the row height, which doesn't make sense in this view. Now, because I have created a lot of stuff, a lot of tasks for the current user admin, I should have some notifications in here. Task with ID 3 thumbnails has changed from this thumbnail to sequence thumbnail, to using sequence thumbnail. A new task with ID 3 has been assigned to you. These are some tasks that has been assigned to me. Let's see if I change something here to add a new notification. For example, type coding car correction, my dashboard. I have a new notification. Now when I click this and view this, if I go to another view and come back to this view, I should have 0 notifications, 0 new notifications. Now for the final part of the application, which is the users and the groups. This is basically uh, a user control panel. In this control panel, you'll be able to create groups, assign privileges to those groups, and add users inside those groups. For example, let's create, these are the default groups. I believe that you shouldn't need any more groups than these. When you select any of the group, go to privileges. These are the default privileges for these groups. These are the available privileges, and these are the assigned privileges. The admin group has all the privileges in the system. The built-in privilege is check-in, check-out, which are related to the files manager. Create DBO, which is creating new database objects, or basically creating a new type in the system. And these are some specific types specific rules for creating specific types. Create projects, create repositories, which is related to the files manager, create users and groups, edit, which is the ability to double click and edit items, as I show you. Remove, which is the ability to remove objects from the database. View files, view projects, view settings, view users and the groups. When you disable any of these items, the currently signed in user won't be able to, for example, if you remove this view projects by clicking this button over here, when I sign in again, I won't be able to view this projects page. Now let's bring this back. View projects, add. Okay. Now if you want to create a new group, just click the create button and create a new group. Okay. This is a new group by default. It doesn't have any privilege assigned to it. Let's just let's not assign anything to this one for now. Okay, let's not assign anything in here. Let's create a new user. These are the default columns for users. Available indicates that this user is available or not, or working on another project. For example, if any user doesn't have anything to do, or doesn't have any a project working on right now, you can just toggle this button to indicate that this user is available and can have projects or tasks assigned to him. Let's create test. What's the password of 1 through 6? Let's add this user to the newly created group and assign a title to him. Okay, that's enough. No, I don't want to remember this password. What else? Now let's try to sign out and sign in with this user. Test. Never. Now, because I don't have any privileges assigned to this user, I only get to see my dashboard. Of course, there are some issues still in the application, but you should be able to just view this my dashboard panel. Now let's sign out from this user. Go back to admin. Please sign me in. Okay. The last thing is the advanced filter. As you might have noticed, there are these two checkboxes down here, and all of these lists, which indicates whether the list is filtered using a custom filter or an advanced filter. The custom filter is the filter that is used by the tags view. For example, if you filter this view by this tag, this checkbox is going to be checked to indicate that this view is currently filtered and need to clear the custom filter. You can clear the custom you can clear the custom filter from here. Also, from here, view advanced filter, or if you press Shift F, you can view this advanced filter or show this advanced filter. The advanced filter works by creating a more complex SQL to filter data coming from database and displayed in this view. For example, let's decrease row height for a bit. If I just want to filter projects with name project 1 or FPS equal to 25, I can create a new filter, select the column name from here, operator equal value project 1 or create another filter FPS equal 25. Let's execute this. Now you only get items with the matching criteria selected in here. You can click this item to clear the filter. You can activate it one more time. Now when you activate the advanced filter, you should get this checkbox to tick to indicate that this view is being filtered with the advanced filter. This button clears the filter but leaves these criteria listed in here for further usage. But if you want to delete these criteria, you can just simply click this delete button. I believe this is it. I have checked everything. Users. Oh, the final thing, the user title can be created from here. When you go to user and create a new user, this user title can be created from settings, users, new title. Okay, now when you create new user, you should find the new title, which is this one. If you want to change a password for any user, just click that user and click change password. Enter the new password, and the newly password will get an effect next time the user tries to sign in. And of course you can change the thumbnails like any other types of the project in the application, I'm sorry, by clicking this button. And again, the application is going to match images, uploaded images, with this column name in here. So I guess this is it. Yeah, I've demonstrated everything, and this should be it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. See you later. Bye.